Thank you everyone. Today I discuss about the properties of oxygen. There are two categories of properties. One is the physical properties, another is the chemical properties. Physical properties of oxygen. Oxygen has no color, oxygen have no smell, it has no taste, and it is not poisonous. That means oxygen is colorless, odorless, and non-poisonous gas. Oxygen is slightly heavier than air. Oxygen is slightly soluble in water. That means a little amount of oxygen can be dissolved in water, and the aquatic animal and plants use this dissolved oxygen to their respiration. Now the liquid oxygen, its boiling point is minus 183 degrees centigrade minus. Now these are the physical properties of oxygen. Now the chemical properties of oxygen. Oxygen do not burn itself, but it supports to burn. Oxygen does not burn but supports combustion. The substance which burns, these substances are known as combustible substance. These are known as combustible substance which can burn, and which helps to burn is known as the supporters of combustion. Oxygen is the supporters of combustion. But when combustible substance starts to burn, then before it is heated up to a certain minimum temperature. Into a certain minimum temperature. This minimum temperature is known as ignition temperature of that combustible substance. The lowest temperature to which a combustible substance must be heated before it begins to burn is called its ignition temperature. The petrol, paper has low ignition temperature, that is why they catch fire easily. The wood, charcoal, they have high ignition temperature, that is why they starts to burn, or that means they takes longer time to start burn. Now the second chemical property is reaction with metal and non-metal. Oxygen can react with metal and non-metal both, and oxygen is a very active element, so it reacts with maximum metals and maximum non-metals. When oxygen reacts with metal and non-metals, that means with another element, then it produces a new compound, and this new compound is known as oxides. Oxygen reacts with metal and non-metals to form a new compound that is known as oxides. If oxygen reacts with metal, then it forms the metallic oxides. When oxygen reacts with non-metal, it forms non-metallic oxides. The metallic oxides and non-metallic oxides, the examples: sodium oxide, calcium oxide, potassium oxides are the examples of metallic oxides, whereas carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide or phosphorus pentoxide are the examples of non-metallic oxides. Now already I discussed, or already we say that when oxygen reacts with metal, it forms metallic oxide. Metal plus oxygen gives a metallic oxide. These metallic oxides generally are basic in nature. Generally, the substance are three types. There are three natures. One is the basic nature, another is the acidic nature, and another is the neutral. These metallic oxides generally they are basic oxides, but some exception is also there. And name of this metallic oxide depends on the name of the metal. If it is a sodium plus oxygen, it forms sodium oxide. Potassium plus oxygen gives the potassium oxide, and so on. Now take examples. Here, when sodium burns in presence of oxygen, it burns with golden yellow flame and produce sodium oxide. When sodium reacts with oxygen, it forms sodium oxide. Now the color of the flame is golden yellow flame. Now magnesium. When magnesium burns in presence of oxygen, it burns in dazzling white flame, and produce magnesium oxide. Magnesium, when reacts with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Now potassium. When potassium burns in presence of oxygen, it forms a lilac flame and produce potassium oxide. Potassium plus oxygen gives potassium oxide. When you write down the formula of these oxides like sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, potassium oxide and calcium oxide, must use the valency of these. Already we know how you write down the formula by using valency. By using this valency, must you have to write the formula of these. Now calcium. When the calcium burns with oxygen, then it burns with bright brick red flame. The color of the flame is bright brick red and forms must be calcium oxide. Calcium plus oxygen gives the calcium oxide. Now these oxides, that means sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, potassium oxide and calcium oxide, all these oxides are the basic oxide, and these all basic oxides are metallic oxides, are basic in nature. All these metallic oxides, that means sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, all are the basic in nature. That means they are the basic oxides. Now when the oxygen reacts with non-metal, when it reacts with non-metal, it forms the non-metallic oxide. When non-metal reacts with oxygen, it forms the non-metallic oxides. And generally these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. But here also some exceptional is there. Non-metals, when reacts with oxygen, it forms non-metallic oxides. The name of this non-metallic oxide depends on which non-metal it is and how many atoms of oxygen present in one molecule. Also there is a name of the non-metallic oxides suggests this. That means if the 5 oxygen atom is there, so it will be pentoxide. If it is 2 oxygen atoms are present, then it will be dioxide. If it is one oxygen atom is present there, then it will be monoxide, like that. And must be at first the non-metals, name of the non-metal must be joined with it. For example, here carbon when burns in presence of sufficient oxygen. Must be the sufficient oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Here carbon plus oxygen gives the carbon dioxide. Name of this oxide is carbon dioxide because the non-metal is carbon and 2 atoms of carbon is there, so it is the carbon dioxide. But if the carbon reacts with insufficient oxygen, then it forms carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, one molecule, one atom of oxygen is present there, and it is the, if the oxygen is not sufficient, then the carbon forms carbon monoxide. Now phosphorus burns in oxygen to form phosphorus pentoxide. Phosphorus plus oxygen gives the phosphorus pentoxide. Here the non-metal is phosphorus, so the name is phosphorus. 5 atom of oxygen is present there, so the name is phosphorus pentoxide. Now the sulfur. When the sulfur burns in oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. Sulfur plus oxygen, sulfur dioxide. Non-metal is sulfur, so the name is sulfur. 2 atom of oxygen is there, 2 atom of oxygen is there, so it will be sulfur dioxide. These are the non-metals: carbon dioxide, phosphorus pentoxide, and sulfur dioxide. All are the non-metallic oxide and all are the acidic in nature. But here it is a non-metallic oxide, CO. But this CO is not non-metal, is not acidic in nature. It is neutral in nature, carbon monoxide. But carbon dioxide, phosphorus pentoxide, sulfur dioxide, all these 3 non-metallic oxide is acidic in nature. When you burn a matchstick, then we get a smell. Do you know what is the, which gas is there? When you burn a matchstick, then we get a smell. What is the name of the gas produced there? Do you know? If you know, please send me the answer. Thank you.